a story time on my savage mom. So, I was really bored because my sister was at Great Wolf Lodge for a birthday party with her friend, and so my mom and I decided to go to the mall. So we arrived, we walked in, and we decided to go get some Auntie Anne's pretzels. The worker was like, "Oh, is that your daughter?" And my mom was like, yeah, why?" And I was like completely confused because I was like, maybe 8. And he was like, "Oh, well, it doesn't look like it. I think I might have to call the cops." My mom like flipped out. Like, I don't know. And she was like all going off of him and like being rude. And he was like, "I don't like your personality." And my mom like completely roasted him. And she was like this: "Yeah, well, I have multiple personalities and none of them like you." And the man got arrested for adoption abuse. Hey, looks like you arrived to this video. Okay, so I promised each and every one of you to make another drama sister one, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so once I went to a water park with my whole family. Now, again, if you didn't see that one video, I'm not sure which one it was again, but I am not a huge liquid person. I don't drink a lot. That's why whenever I eat, I try to eat like watermelon and stuff like that has a lot of juices in it. Anyways, so again, I wasn't drinking that much that day, and it was very hot at the water park, and then I got into a heat stroke. If you guys don't know what that is, that's kind of like, you get very dizzy. You don't faint, but like, I don't really know how to explain it. You can look it up. Anyways, and my sister takes that as to leave me alone, fully alone, and take my parents to go on this like one stupid ride with her. Like for part 2. Here's part 2 on my dramatic sister. So anyways, I had gotten heat stroke, if you haven't seen it already. And my sister thought that I was getting most of the attention, so she took it as for her to get it. Also, I kind of needed the attention at the moment because you can actually die from heat stroke. It's kind of hard to, but still. Anyways, my dad goes with my sister because my sister started crying because none of them were giving her attention. She ran to our car and started calling her friend and asked to talk to their mom. Let's call that friend Lily. Anyways, Lily's mom came and my sister was telling her how she was being abused. Like, what? No. And Lily's mom took that as to call my mom. My mom got very mad and realized that my sister all just wanted to go on this one ride with my dad and my mom. They left me alone with my friend, which was there too, and they all went with my sister.
I ran over my brother. Story time. Growing up, my brother was the worst. Like, he would do anything to ruin my fun. Like, anything. So one day I was playing outside and I was building an amusement park for the ants to play on because, you know, they need to have fun too. And it was really cute. I made it out of dirt and sticks and leaves. I worked so hard on that thing. They had roller coasters and Ferris wheels and little restaurants to eat at. But they never got to enjoy it because my brother came over on his bike and ran over the amusement park. It was completely destroyed. And when I got upset about it, he laughed at me. So I decided I was going to get some revenge. So later that day, we were in the house, and he was laying on the floor talking on the phone with one of his friends. So I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. I got inside this little car that my parents bought me for my birthday. It was something similar to this, but just not as fancy. And I drove up to him, and I was like, And he was like, what? And I was like, this is for the ants. And then I ran over his head.
Here's a story time from about, I think, 1st grade. So my school playground had like a playground and then it had like a big field around it. And it was all gated off and it had trees all surrounding it with like neighborhoods behind. Anyways, I had a best friend named, let's call her Maddie. And then I had another really good friend and she was 1 grade higher than me and she had 2 twin best friends. So anyways, they supposedly saw Chucky in the woods and they would not stop talking about it. And like, I was in 1st grade, like of course I was gonna get scared. Like, what else would a 1st grader do? So I got really scared and went to go tell my best friend Maddie. and she got really freaked out too and told on me. I got sent to the dean because I was scared. My mom nearly threw me out of the car. Like, I don't know.
Hide and seek story, part 1. So me and my friends had a sleepover at her house, and we decided to play hide and seek. But there was a knock at our door. It was actually my friend's best friend. His name was Jacob, and it was her crush. She got seeker, and me and him got hider, so was everyone else. So while I was finding my spot, he just kept following me and said we should hide together. And I was like, okay, I guess. So I decided to hide in this little closet that she never really looks in, so I thought this would be the perfect hiding spot. But of course, to make it even more awkward, he decided to hide in there with me. So while she was seeking, she found about 4 of the girls there. And me and him both weren't found. But then they all became seekers, and she opened the closet. Like for part 2. A lot of you guys were asking for part 3, so I'm pretty sure this will be the last part. Okay, we heard the knock on our door. Besides just an old man at our door giving out cookies. So they gave out the cookies, and of course we're like, okay, thank you. But we never actually eat the cookies, we just throw them out. But this time, I saw something inside the cookie box, and it was a letter. The letter said, I sold your accounts on the dark web. Sorry. And then it said LOL. And me and my friend just looked at each other like, what the fuck? Because we both spent so much money on our Roblox accounts. Both accounts each at least had $2,000 worth of money just for Robux. But anyways, this guy was never found, and we never really got any info from him. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't him, that was just a guy he sent.
Okay, so here's a scary story time on how I found someone staring at me in my sleep. So basically, I used to go on FaceTime with my friend like every single night and fall asleep on the phone. And basically, I told her it was like 2 in the morning and I was just gonna go to sleep for like 30 minutes and tell her to wake me up in 30 minutes. So I fell asleep, and she ended up not being able to wake me up, and she just hung up. But then I woke up about like 4 in the morning and I saw a text on my phone from her, and I thought it was just a regular text, but that was not the case. Basically, it was a picture of me sleeping, and someone was in the corner of my room staring at me. And it wasn't like a shadow or anything, like you could clearly see it. And she just texted me and she was like, what is this? I was terrified. It was a man in a black coat, and I can show the picture if you want me to, but it was literally terrifying. And I didn't sleep in my room for like months. I slept on the couch for months.
This is a story time called The Imposter. So a little background information, around 2 or 3 months ago, I made some TikToks saying if anyone wanted to be my IVF, and so I got one, and we're going to call her Lila. So, Lila was so nice, I told her everything. We were so close for like a month. It was all great, and then she stopped talking to me for a bit. So I texted her one day, and I said, hey, why don't we talk a little more often? I feel like we were so close and we haven't been talking a lot. And so she said, yeah, okay. And so we had a whole conversation. We played Among Us a bit. That was fun. So then she started DMing me on TikTok, sending her videos and saying, could you maybe like and comment and share? And so I didn't think anything of it at first. So I was like, yeah, of course. And I was liking and sharing her videos. She was DMing me on TikTok every day with multiple videos asking me to like and comment. They were her videos, by the way. She did this on her fan page account and her main account. But I didn't think anything of it. I just kept liking and sharing, and her videos went viral. And then I started thinking, what if she's using me? Get this viral and come back for part 2. Have a great day, everybody. This is part 2 of The Imposter. I caught on that she was using me for clout, but I didn't figure this out until later on. I had already shared and liked most of her videos. It all changed one day when she sent me this one video. She said, could you maybe like? I looked at the video and I read it. There was a picture of a Memoji girl who looked exactly like me. And then I read the text that was on the video. It said, this is my name. She is racist, toxic, homophobic, and bullies people, and uses people for clout. And I was like, what? And it said, she will die when this video gets 50 likes. There were 48, and my friend had sent me this video asking me to like it. And I texted her and I said, hey, is there something I'm doing wrong? No response. I did not like the video. I actually responded to her DM saying, I'm good, thanks. I don't wish death upon people. I had also noticed that she deleted the matching bios we did and replaced it with a girl's name. We're gonna call this girl Rachel. And Layla said that Rachel was such a nice friend and she was so famous and so rich and adopt me. And Rachel followed me on TikTok, and so I followed her back, and she actually seemed really nice. And she said, this is part 3 of The Imposter. Basically, this girl Rachel was saying, oh, Lila's such a good friend, she's so nice to me. And I instantly thought, oh my god, she's using her for clout too. And Lila had also mentioned to me, oh, my new friend, she's so rich and adopt me. I thought, is she gonna scam her? And so basically, she started making profile pictures for her TikTok account saying like, this is me and this is Rachel. And it was like Addison Rae and Charlie D'Amelio together being best friends. Basically showing like, oh my god, she's my best friend, I love her so much. This is exactly what she had done to me and then just replaced me. Basically, I told Rachel what had happened to me with Lila, and she said, oh my god, it all makes sense now. She's doing the same thing to me. It turns out Lila was also sending videos to Rachel asking her to like and comment on them. And she was getting clout off of Rachel because Rachel had a lot of followers. Me and Rachel exchanged our numbers and we started to make a plan. We started making videos that were pointed towards Lila but undercover, using different names and people but using everything she did, and we sent them to her asking her to like and share them. And she fell for it. Come back for part 4. And thank you so much for all the love on part 1 and part 2. On part 1 and part 2. Last part of The Imposter. Sorry for using the same clip again, my iPad died and couldn't film a new one. Lila caught on to us sending her the videos because she had done the same thing to us and she knew exactly what we were doing. One day, she asked me to meet her friend Rachel, not knowing that we had already met and talked a lot. So we went into Adopt Me and we were going to play Adopt Me, and Lila asked to trust trade, and so of course we said sure. And then we both left the game and texted each other and said that we got disconnected. Obviously we didn't. And we made up another plan. We went first, and obviously she scammed us for our neon legendaries, but we made a plan and we got the pets back through an alt account. Anyway, that's past the subject. She learned her lesson and she unblocked us and said, hey, I'm sorry, I got scammed for the pets that I scammed you for. So do you think you could give me something? Obviously we said no because she had scammed us for the pets. We went on like that. We never really talked to her until one day she messaged me and said, hey, we haven't talked in a while. You want to become friends again? She'd also told Rachel the same exact thing. We told her no and blocked her because we didn't want to be friends with her anymore. And me and Rachel became best friends. Thank you guys so much.
There was this white Dumby Bumby Mumby Cumby hot Cheeto girl at my school. She had
I sunbathed and in the toilet.
They just didn't believe me. My grandparents lived in a super old home that was built in Hooligan. I am going to be telling you a scary childhood story. When I was 2 years old, my mom passed away. My dad wasn't in the picture, so I went to go live with my grandparents. My grandparents lived in a super old home that was built in the 1800s. I was a very imaginative child. So when I told my grandparents that I used to see people in the house, they just didn't believe me. There was one lady in particular that I would always see. She would sit at the end of my bed and watch me fall asleep. I wasn't scared of her because I thought she was an actual person. Plus, I was super little, so nothing even crossed my mind. At this point, I was like 4 or 5 years old. I remember her talking to me constantly. She even sang me the song Rockabye Baby to get me to go to bed one night. Every single day when I would get home, I could see her in my window. At that point, I thought she was just waiting for me. She just wanted to be my friend, right? But as I got older, things started to get really weird between me and her. She wasn't this nice lady anymore. Stay tuned for part 2. This is part 2 of the lady in my room who would sing me lullabies to get me to go to bed. No one else in my family could see her. She even told me that she was my mom. I really believed her. If you remember, my mom passed away when I was 2. So, it seemed pretty real that it was my mom. I didn't really remember what my mom's face looked like when she passed away. And this lady, could be my mom. She continued to sing me lullabies every single night when I would go to bed. She would always be waiting for me in the window when I would get home from school. But I figured out pretty quickly it wasn't my mom. My mom was a sweet, kind-hearted person. This spirit was evil. She would get mad at me every single time any of my friends would come over. She told me she could see my future and that I was going to go to hell after I died in a car accident. It scared me so much, but no one believed me. It got to the point where I never even wanted to go in the car because I thought I was going to die. She convinced me I was evil. Stay tuned for part 3 that's coming. This is part 3 of the lady who used to sing me lullabies to get me to go to bed. This spirit was evil, and she started to convince me that I was evil too. She convinced me that I would go to hell because I was a horrible child, even though I wasn't.
She convinced me that every single person in my life hated me. She even started to control my dreams, and I would wake up every single night screaming at the top of my lungs from a night terror, and she would be sitting at the end of my bed. This went on for years. When I turned 9, my grandpa passed away. And because it was a really big house, me and my grandma moved to a different house. And the evil spirit was just gone. I never saw her again. But was she really gone? When I was 15, I went to a psychic. The moment I walked into the room, she could feel a dark energy enter the room. She told me that someone was following me every single step I took. And when she said that, I knew exactly what she was talking about. After that, I went to a medium, and after many sessions with her, the dark presence was finally gone.